Well, we are now into section 2 where one or more than one option may be correct. And the very first question in this section, it's based on displacement method of finding focal length of a converging lens. Question says, in displacement method experiment, distance between screen and object is 120 centimeter. The ratio of size of images formed on the screen for two positions of the lens is 1:9. In that case, well, there are two options about the focal length of the lens and there are two options about the distance between the two positions of the lens. So, let us begin our solution. And in displacement method, we know that the position of the lens and the screen is fixed. Let us say that this is the, or rather let me correct myself, position of the object and the screen is fixed. The lens of course has two positions, and in each of these two positions we form a real image on the screen for the same position of the object. So, let us say that here is the object and here is the screen, and the distance between the two is fixed. In this case, the distance has been given as 120 centimeter, isn't it? So, you can see that the distance between the two positions is 120 centimeter, and so we can show that this distance is 120 centimeter. Let us say that the first position of lens is somewhere here, so that this distance is x and the other distance becomes, that means distance of the lens from the screen in this case becomes 120 minus x centimeter, all right. In the second case, of course, what will happen is the lens will shift towards right, and in that case we can see if the position of the lens in the second case is somewhere here, let us call it L1, and the second case it is here, so this is L2. So, in that case this distance becomes x and this distance becomes 120 minus x, isn't it? And now we can apply the conditions. Conditions given is that the ratio of the size of the images in the two cases is 9:1. So, what this means is, in the first case, which is let us assume that the height of the image in the first case is h1, h1 by ho, we are talking about its magnitude, is going to be equal to 120 minus x divided by x, right? The image distance divided by the object distance, we are talking about magnitudes only. In the second case, height of image, let us say, is s2 divided by height of object, that will be equal to, well, x divided by 120 minus x. Now, the ratio of the size of images in the two cases is 9:1. If we apply that, so we divide equation 1 by equation 2, and that gives us h1 by h2 as 120 minus x divided by x divided by x divided by 120 minus x. That means this is going to be 120 minus x the whole square by x square, and according to the question this value is 9. Now, we can easily find the value of x. We can take square root of both the sides, and 120 minus x by x is coming out as 3, which means the value of x itself is 30 centimeter. The value of x is now known, and we can now decide what is the focal length, and we can also check what is the distance between the two positions of the lens very easily. So, let us consider the first case. U becomes minus x or minus 30 centimeter. The value of V becomes in that case 120 minus 30 or 90 centimeter, and we can apply the lens formula. 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. That will give us 1 by f is equal to 1 by 90 centimeter plus 1 by 30, and if you solve it we get 1 by f is equal to 90, here it is 1 plus 3, which gives us that focal length is equal to 90 by 4 or 22.5 centimeter. So, the focal length of the lens is found out. What about the distance between the two positions of the lens? We can see that distance between the two positions of the lens is 120 minus x minus x. That means 120 minus 2x centimeter. So, that becomes 120 minus 60 or 60 centimeter. So, now we have response for all the options, isn't it? So, let us now select the options. Focal length of lens is 22.5 centimeter is the correct one. A is obviously wrong. And distance between two positions of the lens is 60 centimeter. This is also a correct one. So, B and C are correct options for this question. Time now to go to the next one. And this is based on projectile motion. Question says a cubical block of side A is placed on the ground. A particle is projected from ground with minimum velocity V0 such that it crosses over the cube as shown. And the trajectory of the particle had been shown. It is just clears the edges of the cube and the speed is minimum in that case. Now, there are options with respect to the speed of projection V0, the angle of projection with horizontal theta, and also the range of projectile. So, let us now start solving. Now, what are the key points in solving this? The question says that the speed of projection is the minimum speed for which it clears the edges of the cube. And what it means is that at this point the speed is minimum, okay, let us say the speed is v. So, the range is fixed, range here if you say the horizontal range between these two edges, that is a. So, what is the minimum speed? Well, for minimum speed the angle with horizontal at this position must be 45 degrees. So, that will be a key point in solving the question. So, if this angle is 45 degree, we can find the speed v at that point because horizontal range is a if you only look at the upper edge of the cube, and that gives us that v square by g, that is the maximum range formula, right? V square sine 2 theta by g, but sine 2 theta there is 1 because theta is 45 degree. So, v square by g is equal to a, and that gives us v, the speed at that point, as root g. So, let us keep this. We are interested in finding values of v0, theta, and also the range of the projectile. Now, if we look at this point, the point of projection, and this point we can call it A, we can get a relation between the speeds at these 2 points, isn't it? How? Well, we can apply conservation of mechanical energy. So, half mv0 square is equal to half mv square plus mg into A, isn't it? And if we apply that, the equation is half mv square, or rather v0 square, is equal to half mv square plus mga, which basically gives us v0 square is equal to v square plus 2ga. The value of v is already with us, it is root ga. So, we are getting the value of v0 as root 3ga. Okay. So, this is one of the solutions. In fact, out of the 4 options, we have already rejected one and selected one. A is selected and B of course is rejected. Let us now go ahead further with our solution. So, once we have the value of V0, value of V is also known, value of V0 is also known, then how to find the value of theta and also the horizontal range? Well, we can now apply this, that V0 cos theta, okay, the horizontal component of velocity does not change. So, that gives us root 3ga into cos theta is equal to V into a cos 45 degree, or that means it is equal to root GA by root 2, which means cos theta is coming out as 1 by root 6. So, the value of theta is known. Theta is cos inverse of 1 by root 6. All right. So, now we have theta, we have the speed of projection, range can be also found quite easily. So, the total horizontal range becomes what? V naught square into 2 sin theta into cos theta divided by G. So, let us now put the values. Since we already have cos theta as 1 by root 6, the value of sin theta we can put, as you applying Pythagoras theorem, sin theta will be root 5 by root 6. So, let us put in the values. V naught is root 3 GA. So, this is 3 GA into 2. Sin theta is root 5 by root 6 and cos theta is 1 by root 6. So, we get root 5 by 6 and G is of course there. So, G cancels out, and what we get is the range is coming out as A root 5. So, practically the question is solved. Range is A root 5 and theta is cos inverse 1 by root 6, which means we can reject this one because theta is cos inverse 1 by root 6, range is correct. Well, so, for this question options A and D are the correct options. Well, this one is done. Time now to go to the next set of questions. Let us read the question, and this question is about standing waves. It says the equation of a standing wave formed in a 10 centimeter long string fixed at both ends is y equal to a sin kx sin omega t, where a is 5 millimeter, k is 1.5 centimeter inverse and omega is 314 radian per second. Then the options are about speed of wave, velocity of particle at a specific location at specific instant of time, and well, string vibrates in 4th harmonic or not, we have to judge that. Option D is about string vibrates in 4th overtone. So, let us start the solution, and first of all let us find the speed of the travelling wave, whose superposition can produce a standing wave like this. So, speed of the travelling wave is omega by k. The values of omega and k are given to us. We see that omega is 314 radian per second. So, just let us put the value 314, and k is 1.5 centimeter inverse. So, it is 1.5 centimeter per second, and well, we find this is equal to 200 centimeter per second or 2 meter per second. So, this is the speed of the travelling wave is 2 meter per second. So, option A is clearly correct. Let us now evaluate the velocity of the particle at this value of x and this value of time. So, the expression for the particle velocity Vp is del y by del t. So, let us take the partial derivative of y with respect to t, and that partial derivative will become a omega sin kx cos omega t. All right. So, that is equal to a omega, and it is sin kx cos omega t, a omega sin kx cos omega t. We now have to plug in these values of x and t and check what is the particle velocity we are getting. All right, value of A is given. The value of A is 5 millimeter, am I right? Yes. Value of A is 5 millimeter. The omega is 314 radian per second. So, it is 5 millimeter, that means it is a 0.5 centimeter, isn't it? So, 0.5 centimeter, and then it is 314, okay, let it be 314 per second. Sin kx, if I put the value of k as, what's the value of k here? 1.57 centimeter inverse. So 1.57, and the value of x is well, 1 centimeter. All right, so this becomes sine 1.57, and 1.57 is, I'm sure you have guessed it, it is pi by 2. So the value is going to be 1. Now coming to cos omega t, again omega is 314 radian per second, and coming to time t, t is 1 second. So, well, we find that this is cos 100 pi. So cos 100 pi value is 1. So this is 1, this is also 1. So velocity of particle then comes out as 0.5 into 314 centimeter per second, isn't it? And what is the option? The option is 157 centimeter per second. In fact, it is exactly matching. So this is 157 centimeter per second. So that means we have another correct option here, option B. And now we need to check whether it is vibrating in fourth harmonic or fourth overtone or not. Now, what is the wavelength of the traveling waves? Because length of string is given to us, and we can judge if we have the length of the string and the wavelength. On that basis, we can judge what is the mode in which the string is vibrating, isn't it? So lambda, you know, value of k itself is 2 pi by lambda. The lambda being the wavelength, and that means the wavelength is 2 pi by k. Let's put the value of k. K is, let's check once again. The value of k is given as 1.57 centimeter inverse. So 2 pi by 2. Isn't it? 1.57 is pi by 2, and this is in centimeter. So we are getting lambda wavelength as 4 centimeter. Now if a string is fixed at both ends, then there is one loop for distance lambda by 2. So for every 2 centimeter we get one loop. The total length is 10 centimeter. That means the number of loops n is 5. And that means that the string is vibrating in its fifth harmonic or fourth overtone. So the other two options are now also clear. The string actually vibrates in fourth overtone. Option C is incorrect because it is vibrating in fifth harmonic or fourth overtone. So options A, B and D are correct as far as this question is concerned. And we now can go to the next question.